There's so many different ways where people explain what is internal linking and how it should be done, but no one really explains you the overall principles, and no one talks about semantic SEO. This is about semantic SEO. And it's not about like semantics as a field of study. It's more about how do we approach it in a meaningful way, and then how we create semantically structured internal linking, right? And it's actually not that difficult, and it's actually easier than classical ways of internal linking. You just have to understand the main principles, right? So the main principle here is that internal linking is about passing relevance. Because if you think about relevance, right, it's a complicated concept, and I'm not going to go deep into that, but you have to understand that passing relevance is about like holding a sign or holding a banner like go here, right? So if there's an article, there's an internal link somewhere in an article, this internal link actually says like go here to another article and explore it because it's relevant, and it's relevant in this context. And another thing is that if there's a main context here like chairs, let's say, right, chairs is the main topic, is the main context of this web page, then this internal link has to be somewhat related to chairs, right? So it has to have some relationship with chairs, like, right, like for example types of chairs or a particular chair model, right? And then the article that it links to has to be related to this context, somewhat related, because it cannot be about like something completely different. So example would be here like metal chairs, for example. So this is an article we're linking to, and then the context here has to match this, right? So it has to be related. More than that, the heading here that relates to this context has to contain related words or related terms or related meanings to the main concept, and this has to match with this, and then you link somewhere here, right? It's not about just taking an article about chairs and then finding a word somewhere here without any relationship with a heading. You just find a word like for example aluminum, right? And you're like, oh, I have an article about aluminum, and it's an article about purely aluminum. That would be bonkers. That would not make sense, because this is about chairs, so this has to be somewhat related to chairs. It's not just like types of alloys, right? It's not about alloys. This is not right. So it has to have any type of relationship to the main context of a page you're linking to. More than that, it has to be linked to the source context, right? If you're selling chairs, right? For example, you have an e-commerce website that sells chairs or just sells furniture, or it might have like SaaS that helps to like fit SaaS fitting furniture, or like for example computer vision. I'm just making this up, so this might be different. So think about like relationships, and also think about the format of an article, because as I've said, chairs, right? This is types of chairs, and you have one type of chair here, one type of chair here. These are headings like H2, H3, H2, and then you have paragraphs. So the heading should contain context related to this, okay? So you cannot just pick a random word. You cannot just look at the article. When interlinking, you cannot just like look at the page and just like find words that you link to. It's not really about UX or like trying to make a good navigation system. It's not about navigation. Navigation is secondary. So first thing is passing relevance. Another thing which is also important is about quantity of links, because the more links you have, the less relevance, or I would say juice, link juice you have. And if you have an article, again, that has 10 different links, the distribution would be like 50% for the first link, and then like 30 for a second link. This is approximate, right? This is something from my experience. And then like 10%, and then less and less. So you end up with the bottom of the page having like so little relevance, although this might be linking to your money pages, right? This might be like a micro context of an article, but you end up wasting all of the juice to this particular link, which might be not that important, for example, right? So you have to think about these things when you're interlinking articles. And I can go ahead and talk about like outer section and core section and how you interlink them. Should you interlink from core to outer, and when to do it, and then you have like quality notes that can go here and interlink this and this. But these are more complicated concepts, and let me know in the comments if you want to hear about those. But these are like the main principles here: passing relevance and think about quantity of links. I'm not going to go into like anchor text and what to use in the anchor text. I can do a video about that, but you can find them online. But these are the main things that you have to be aware of when interlinking articles. Subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to be releasing more videos like this with different types of tutorials on semantic SEO and SEO overall. Yeah, and see you in the next one.